All right, I'm on hole number 2 of the Safari Sunrise Tournament. I'm in Tuesday's qualifying round in the Ricky division, and I am going to try and qualify today just because I'm super busy this week, and I need to get everything in. I played my 99 account this morning, my low-level account, and posted some videos for those of you that got some low-level clubs so you can see kind of what's possible. So let's see what we got on hole number 2. Hole number 2. So here's the deal. This all boils down to ball. If you have 5-power balls, you can do what I'm going to try and do here, and that is to go straight forward where you get first bounce here. This is a max overpower shot, and you're trying to bleed forward. Now this fairway, we'll call this fairway 3. This is fairway 1. This is fairway 2. This is fairway 3. This is fairway 4, right? 4. So on fairway 3, clear that off. There is kind of right where my grid line is right here. There's a ridge. And on this side, it's flat. And on this side, it rolls down to the sand. And if you have any speed going down here and you're bleeding off on the left-hand side, it's going to be super easy to end up in the sand. So if you have a low-level account, low-level or LLC, low-level clubs, and you've got a power 5 ball, this still probably isn't a very good shot, because if you don't have good recovery clubs, you haven't developed this, you haven't gotten a Spitfire, you haven't gotten a Nirvana, you haven't gotten anything that hits. Most sand wedges and rough irons are basically, if you look at distance, if you go to Golf Clash Notebook and you pull up distances, are basically in the short iron category. Some of them are a little bit long for short iron, but they're definitely shorter than a long iron. So they're short irons. If you have a Nirvana, an Amazon, a Spitfire, an upper level Razor, something like that, then those clubs are now long irons. And it is a big deal to try and get your recovery clubs to the long iron range. So everybody's concerned about, like, I want to get an APOC. I could care less about getting an APOC. I wanted to get a Spitfire. Okay? I wanted to get, because that club will be in your bag every single day. Whereas an Apocalypse will be in your bag when you need it, especially on tournament holes. So if you got a power 5 ball and you got good recovery clubs, you can take this out here. But when you're doing a max overpower hook shot, you're taking a big risk that you could end up in the rough or the sand. And it's not a big deal if you've got good recovery clubs. But if you don't, it could be a bad deal. So with my low level account, I came in here with a QB, and from the tee box, we'll go out here to the tee so we can see the drive. So my going in this area right here, and I had 3 rings of separation between the rough. I was blue ring off the rough, and so my ball guide's going out like this. And my second bounce is really in the rough. But think about the arc. So curl is not represented in your ball guide. So if we do the arc out here, if I put a little bit of right-hand curl on it, that means that the second bounce is no longer in the rough, it's hitting out here in the fairway. And it only takes maybe 1, maybe 2 topspin. It doesn't take very much. And it does not take max curl. It only takes maybe half to just swing it around. And so you're trying to come in on this trajectory and just swing it around and then bleed it forward. But it's super easy on this hole to over curl it and end up in the rough over here. And if you end up in the rough up on top, you're screwed. I mean, you're in big trouble. So just trying to bleed it forward to get it up there. What you could do is set it up like 5 rings off of this transitional surface so that you could put on max curl. And that's just a shot that you need to work out with your clubs. If I was playing these holes on a regular basis, I would definitely figure out that shot, because then it's a pure setup shot. You go out there and you're 5 rings off that transitional surface, 6 rings off that transitional surface. You're way out here. You're 5 or 6 rings off, and then you put max, and your ball guide's going like this. You put max curl, and it brings you back around, and it's always in the center of the fairway. But it doesn't take very much topspin, and it'll bleed you out in here. Second shot, you want to bring a big dog. I mean, this is not anything to mess around with here. I mean, you are way back from that green. I mean, you're up here. You are way back from that green. So your red line's going to be like up here. And with a big dog, it's going to take a couple topspin to get your second bounce right on the other side of that sand. Give yourself a little bit of leeway, and you have very limited chance for Albie, but you've got a pretty good serious shot, pretty easy shot for eagle. of all the holes in this tournament that I think people are going to have problems on, this is going to be the hole. What I think a lot of people are going to do is they're going to come in here with a sniper, which is, even if it's maxed out, we're talking 7-8 yards less than a big dog. And while it has lots of topspin and it can get you up there, the deal is you don't have a serious, you've got to put so much topspin to get from where the red line is with a sniper to get over to this spot that you're going to end up going past the hole unless you get lucky and hit the flagpole. So it's, if you're back here, just respect the hole. Bring a big power ball, big power 3 ball. Kingmaker works great. Titan will work good too. And big dog, and you can just get up there and get your eagle. I'm going for it. I'm going for it to get up in here, because if I can get up into this range right here, I'm in long iron, and then I've got a really good shot. I can actually start in front of the sand, and I have 3 options. Well, one of them is not really an option, but it is an option. You could do a rough bump, but there is no way I'm going to do that, because that puts your eagle at rest, but it is an option. And you probably have to bring a Goliath to have enough topspin to get it up there. You can start off in front and try and with like a Grizzly and try and come up, or you can bring like a Saturn or a Grim Reaper and get closer to the hole and use backspin. But you have options if you can get up in here. All right, that's your options on that hole. All right, let's get out there. Let's go play it. And then I got to go eat. Food just got here. We'll play the hole. And then I gotta go eat. Oh. No, I'm just gonna play this hole and then I'll come eat. I got some Thai food. I love Thai food. So I'm bringing an extra mile, and I'm gonna bring a power 5 ball. Let's think. I need 10. I need 10 power 5 balls, and I have 7. There's one of the other holes that you really, it's easier with a power 5 ball, and I've got one of those left. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll offer us a midweek package and we can get some power 5 balls, or power 4 balls would be nice. Let's think. You know, I think it's going to be more important to save those for the qualifying, or for the opening and the weekend round, especially like on the back side of the opening round. There's 2 holes, so there's 2, 4, 6. If I waited until the back side of the opening round, I'd have just enough balls to get me through. I mean, I'd have to play the qualifying round and the front side of the opening round and not get aggressive with it. It's possible to get out there with a power 3 ball, but if you fail early. And if you fail early, then you really, I mean, even with upper developed recovery clubs, you put yourself under a big bunch of pressure. So let's hit this with a QB. I think a QB is all I need. Quarterback. I'm going to bring a big dog, and I'll do the layup shot. I'm just going to stick with the Titan because I got lots of Titans. I don't have to buy any Kingmakers unless I have to. A lot of times in the qualifying round, and then even in the opening round, I may shoot with Titans, and in the weekend round, I'll use a Kingmaker just to cut the wind down. All right, I'll do the layup shot for you. The drive's all about hitting perfect, but it's not just about hitting perfect. You want to make sure that you set up, like normally I'd like to set up right dead center in the middle of a fairway. So like if I'm bouncing into that fairway, I want to be in the middle. So I got room to the left or the right. But you want to make sure that you're not necessarily to the right of the ridge, but you want you don't want to be like, if you split this fairway up here, fairway number 3 in half, you don't want to be over here on the quarter mark, but you want to be leaning towards the flat side over here on the right. And if you epic fail on the right, you're in the rough and you're at a better angle to the cup as opposed to bleeding off into that sand. So it's better to be on the right hand side, but it's all about hitting perfect. If you hit it perfect, you're going down there. If you have an extra mile 9, you can actually drive all the way to the end of that and overdrive it. So with an extra mile 8, you got just enough topspin, and if you hit it right, you can end up in the sweet spot. Very nice. Now the deal is that the katana is not a problem on the drive. The power 2 ball is not a problem on the drive. The problem stems from the second shot. I'll put max, put about 1 topspin, maybe eke into about 1.5. Take the wind out. 2-2. And then there's max curl. And I don't want to go max. I want to go about half curl. And I hit it 7,000 rings great to the left. And it may clip the rough right there. Try to leave myself enough room so that it wouldn't, but it might when you hit it 2 rings great to the left. And I'm also a big fan, if you watch a lot of people's streams and they set their shots up and they're a half an inch, they're 1 blade of grass away from transitional surfaces, that is not me. I'm not trying to be super conservative on it, but if I'm setting up shots, why wouldn't I set up a shot, especially at the beginning of the week when you're first trying out holes or when they're brand new holes and you're setting up shots? Why wouldn't you give yourself more room? If you're going to set a shot up, why wouldn't you give yourself more room so that the shot can develop before you're instantly in trouble? I don't hit perfect all the time. So we got my red lines right there. It only takes just a little bit of topspin to get us up there. I want to go right straight at the cup. And I've been off on the right-hand side or the left-hand side, so I'm going to do like a 20% wind adjustment. So that's going to be 3.6, and this big dog hits like 2.0 per ring, so there's 4. So we're a little less. Maybe you're a ring and 3/4. Yeah, it jogged great. So that was like a 30% wind adjustment. I was doing no wind adjustment. I was ending up about that far on the other side. I would have liked to have hit that perfect so I could have seen where it went. But a 20% might be too much. Maybe. I don't know. We can't tell without perfect. The speed coming in there was, I'm going to just have to deal with the speed because I'm not willing to, because of the way we're having to pull out the wind. If we over pull it, we could clip that rough. And I want to make sure that I give myself a little bit of leeway in front of that rough. So speed coming in, as far as that goes, it wasn't bad. If I was on track, it may, especially if you were on the flagpole track, it may be able to get in the hole. But it was a little hot. That was with like 1.5 topspin. So maybe I still had a little bit of room down there. So I could probably have gone in with maybe 1 topspin and still had some room in front of that sand. Oh, and that was 700 rings great to the left again. That's 2 in a row. Woo! Lucky on that. I was so close. I was so close I could hit a 2 ring great to the left. Evidently, I'm not tired enough that my my eyeballs are working. I'll take it. The goal on that hole is eagle. And putting yourself in a spot where you have at least a look at Albie. But recognizing that the albatross shot is it's a very low percentage, so you're probably not going to get an albatross, and that's okay. There's a lot of people that are going to epic fail on that hole, so getting an eagle there is not a bad thing. It's not bad. All right, that was hole number 2 of the Safari Sunrise Tournament in the qualifying round, Tuesday's qualifying round of the rookie division. Thanks for watching.